Hello, this is Patrick W. Crawford from Moo-Ack Productions, also known as TheDuckCow. Thank you for watching. This is behind the scenes for Thinknoodles, sometimes parody. Check out the original if you're not already. Otherwise, let's begin. First off, how was this made? The majority of the parody was created using a program called Blender, which is open source. With it, we did most of the video sequence editing, animating, rigging, and modeling, as well as compositing. I have some tutorials if you want to get started yourself. A key Blender add-on used is MC Prep, something I created to help automate tasks when creating Minecraft animations. Shameless plug, I know, but it's actually free to use, so go check it out. I also want to introduce the rest of the team. Say hello.
Hi, my name's ButteredKieran.
Hey, this is MomentarilyEpic.
Hello everyone, this is TheKindKitten.
Hey, this is Sunkissed Animation.
And I am, of course, TheDuckCow. Also thanks to Thinknoodles and Peter Hollins. You guys are awesome. Now let's take a look at the actual Thinknoodles rig used to animate in the parody. You can see we have these different control points that allow us to modify the shape of Thinknoodles over time. Control points allow us to move his legs around, his arms, his face. We can even modify his mouth expression with controls like this, making him smile or frown, changing his eyebrow position, and more detailed control points allow us to make minute changes in various parts of his face. The way we animate Thinknoodles is by adding keyframes. So I exit this full screen view and expand my view a little bit. You can see that if I add a keyframe to everything at this point in time, it adds a little diamond here. And then I go forward 20 frames, I can move them to a different position. Say I move the eyes around, the face more, make him smile more. And then again press I to add a keyframe. It will now make an animation between those 2 points in time. We also created a lightweight rig as a part of this project, which will allow us to have background characters that had lower control point details, but would be much faster to animate and be less CPU resource intensive. We essentially would control the macroscopic shapes of these characters with a couple things called shape keys over time. Thereafter, in order to move them through the scene, we would give them a basic forward-moving animation, then parent them to this null object, which would allow us to easily move them and rotate them throughout the scene. When using this lightweight rig, one thing we were able to do with the MC Prep add-on was easily change skins from one to another. Then, after applying a very simple walk cycle animation to the rig, we were able to duplicate this multiple times over and over, changing the skin every single time. At the end, we have a group of a large number of characters with some basic walk animations, which are then able to apply to a group, and thus creating a particle simulated crowd. You can see here a rough version of this animation. While that very quick skin changing works for background characters, for midground characters, we actually would do a little bit more work after skin swapping by deleting the transparent faces and using a solidify modifier to create more 3D features on the characters. We'd also give them more refined animations. Now let's talk about Justin's room. As many of you caught on, there are a lot of Easter eggs to try to place around his room, but in terms of actually creating the room, we first had to model all these individual assets and then place them around using linked library groups. For things like the pile of clothing, we actually simulated the clothing by duplicating multiple pieces of the shirt and pants, letting them fall and simulate to the ground. The pile was then grouped and then placed around the scene individually. In order to create the TV screen animation, I actually just continued animating my upcoming Legend of Craft short, hint hint. I then took this real-time rendered scene, put it into another Blender comp, put some of the Zelda interface icons over it, and then animated shape keys on the hearts to change Link's health over time. To create some of the posters, I utilized Adobe Illustrator along with Photoshop and some other tools in order to create the in-game posters, as well as using content from Thinknoodles himself. And then in order to actually place the posters into the rooms, I'd actually utilize a cloth simulations in some cases to help the posters kind of droop in a more natural fashion. And as long as we're on the topic, oh boy, cloth simulations. These kinds of simulations were an important part of the parody overall. As you can see, for example, with the Zelda costume for Think Princess, her character actually had 3 simultaneous cloth simulations happening at the same time, requiring careful and particular use of the settings and animation. Finally, on a more boring and project management standpoint, we actually used Google Sheets to track progress towards the shots and activities in the animation overall, which gave us a tracker to see how we were progressing over time. This is a good way to keep track of what's going on and not lose sight of the end goal. At the end of the project, it was over 44 gigabytes of size, of which 24 gigabytes of that was render files alone. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Be sure to check out other behind the scenes if you're interested in this kind of content. You can also check out other music videos that I've created, as well as playlists around how to create your own animations and use the MC Prep add-on. If you have other questions about this production, I'm happy to answer questions down below. I want to extend another thanks to the great team that worked on this. You're all amazing. Hope you enjoyed this, and until next time.